This is going to be super interesting for everyone that is potentially watching live or watching a recording of this on YouTube. Welcome everybody. This is the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. I am joined by my good friend and guest host, Mr. Bill Kemmler. He is the creative content behind Political Bill SC, and I also Black, White, and Blue in the South podcast.
That's right. The newly resurrected Black, White, and Blue in the South.
Okay, so that's my question, I guess, is were we able to convince Dr. Jamil Brooks to come back and record?
Yes. Yes. She gave me the all clear on Saturday. So after a month and a half of hiatus, almost 2 months actually, almost all of November, heading in December, we are going back and we will be live not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday.
That's
So
exciting.
we're going back in the studio this Sunday, and all new show coming out the following Wednesday.
That's exciting. And look, I don't ask that you guys return for me. It's not a podcast that I have to have. It's that I want to have. But my mother will be very happy to hear that you all are coming back, because I think she counted on hearing good Democrats on podcasts rather than.
Oh, wait a minute. We need to correct. We have pivoted. We are now Republicans.
Oh.
So we've decided to cross over to the winning team. So this is talking Southern Republican politics. So that's what we're going to do. So I forgot that. Did you not get that memo? I must have forgot. That's my bad. I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom. But yeah, we're going to be pro-Trump radio going forward. MAGA.
Look, pro-Trump radio makes a lot of money.
Exactly.
I mean, there is hundreds of millions of dollars to be made in pro-Trump radio, because.
But think about it, Barrett. The benefits are not only the incredible income that we're expecting to derive, but we don't even have to prep anymore. Like, I used to do lots of research, take notes, references, prep stuff together. Now with the Republican radio show, we can just utter bullshit for 2 hours straight. We don't have to fact check anything. People are going to believe it, and we'll be popular. So this is going to be awesome. It's win-win.
Some Republican radio would preface that with saying that our podcast is nothing but bullshit anyway.
Right. So I'm going to ask you, how did you celebrate January 6th now that it's a new national holiday? We've named it Traitormas, by the way. It's the new national holiday.
I kind of slept through it. No, I was working, but here's the joke. I slept through it, and I thought I was going to get a call about when I was supposed to arrive at the Capitol, not a Capitol. And so when I showed up, the doors were locked, the lights were off, nobody was there. There was a security guard sleeping in the corner. I didn't, I guess I missed it this time.
Did you go in through the doors or through any of the broken windows? How did you gain access?
Well, I didn't have anything to break the windows. I didn't know it was a bring your own battalion or battering ram or anything. I didn't realize that was what you had to do in order, because I kind of was under the assumption that 4 years ago that there was, like, that movie, what was it, the Mel Brooks Blazing Saddles, where before the insurrection into the town, all of the criminals and big guys and whatever, they showed up, they were being handed their weapons before they went in. I thought it was going to be kind of like that. So I may have I missed out, and I didn't plan ahead.
It's a shame. You snooze, you lose, man. Well, there may be another one in a couple of years, so
I did
watch
the certification yesterday. It was I feel like, and I know that there's some out there that are going to say that it's not that way I see it, but I feel like the Democrats are at least trying to be nonpartisan in this situation, and then just go ahead and just go through the process. Let's get it done. But when Mike Johnson stood up there and basically provided the start of every uh, uh, applause for every state that Donald Trump won. It just, because it was Alabama, Alaska, and Arizona. So like as we went through the states, it was a weird. It felt weird to be applauding something that was so mundane and so pointless in the whole proceed. Like there's no reason for that to be on television for me. We're literally just counting the electoral votes, and now because of 4 years ago, it is it is going to be on television or it's going to be on television at least every single time that Trump is on the ballot.
Yeah, because it's not a presidency; it's a cult of
Yeah,
personality.
yeah.
And what an odious personality to form a cult around.
It's really weird. I asked my I was I asked my father-in-law at one point. I said, let's say I created a Democrat that was ultimately a mega rich, super millionaire or low end billionaire. I
Okay,
said,
so you're describing me to a T. Go ahead,
yeah.
keep going.
So I said, so I created parallels that match Donald Trump almost identically, except for um, some of his personality was a bit more extreme when it comes to things like abortion or being adamant about women's rights and things like that. So I created this character. I said, is this somebody you'd vote for? And he said, absolutely not. I would never vote for a Democrat. And I said, well, here's the thing. What I'm describing was Donald Trump a year and a half before he ran for president. And that's the person that all of a sudden flipped and became a Republican. And he said, well, you have to be able to forgive. And I said, you're giving me two contradictory things. You hate Democrats for some reason, and you were unwilling to forgive them. But I said, but you love Donald Trump and can forgive him for being a Democrat. Is that all it takes, is just a switch and be like, I'm a Republican now? He's like, yeah, in some cases. It's like, that's disappointing. I mean, that just says to me, there's no scruples, there's no attachment, there's no loyalty. It's all on a whim, and I don't get it.
So what do you do with this partially daily, semi-daily mini show? Are you strictly on politics? Are you
No.
all over the place? Because I saw a couple of your videos where you had to block Elon Musk. Good for you. I actually took the step further. I deactivated all of my different Twitter accounts. I'm out
I've
of there.
given I've given that some serious consideration. Um, I've given that some serious consideration to deactivating the Twitter accounts, because I don't. The only I use mine, and I've had it for so long that.
Yeah,
But I didn't deactivate any of them. I just stopped posting to them.
right.
Um,
No, I wanted the user numbers to decrease and gone. I can't access X if I wanted to. And I had maybe 5 or 6 different accounts I was running, believe it or
yeah,
not, just for various organizations and things like that. All gone. We've moved to every other social media platform, and it's been just fine.
you're on
Haven't
Blue
missed
Sky now too.
Blue Sky, Threads, Mastodon, Instagram, YouTube, all of them.
Yeah,
Everything except X. I'm out of there.
yeah.
And it's been fine.
Well, I may take I may take what you've done, and I may do that as well, because I don't have any attachment to it except for the fact that I literally have my name as, and I think most people could probably do
Oh,
their
so
name.
you're talking about squatting just so that your name doesn't get reused, because obviously Barrett Gruber is such a hot commodity that there's going to be lots of organizations out there trying to steal that name. Right. Okay. I got you. That's wise. That's wise. That's wise. You want to preserve those 300 followers on Twitter. Or was it? It's not even 300. It's like 30
Yeah,
followers that you have on Twitter. You want to preserve it and your
it's
name.
it's into the low hundreds. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, it got to a point over there that I was getting followed daily, 10, 20 new accounts every day,
Yeah.
every last one of them, a
Bots.
sexy model bot,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
so
true. I
And
didn't
so it
think
just
about that.
became ridiculous. It's like my follower account's increasing, but it's all fake accounts nonstop. Twitter and Musk are not interested in stopping that. So I'd already had in my mind, politics aside, it just became a mismanaged platform that was serving no purpose whatsoever. So I was out of there.
Well, are you on the Trump Musk relationship bandwagon when it comes to, is Musk our president? Is he the one calling the shot? Is he going to be our president, the one that's calling the shots?
I think he's actually elevated beyond president. He's now global leader because he's been so involved in European politics
Yeah.
lately, criticizing Germany or endorsing the far right German candidates and criticizing the UK. He's now in spats with major governments across the globe. So he's elevating himself. The guy is, obviously the wealthiest person in the world, and it's not even a close second.
Oh
Whoever's
yeah.
second behind him, it's not even close.
Well, I said something on one of the last episodes that Musk, his, because of, and look, for anyone that has any doubt about how Musk has created his wealth, he is a welfare trust fund baby. He suckles at the teat of the United States government as well as governments around the world. Um, and that's how he makes his money. He is not this genius that has created something. He is not an engineer that has made something better. He has simply just put his money in and worked his way to the top of these companies.
I saw
And
an interesting statistic that really put things in perspective. You and I work; we collect paychecks every week, every other week, whatever it is.
yeah,
And I know that towards the end of the year, my net pay starts to go up. Do you experience that as well? And
um,
it's because you've hit a limit in terms of the Social Security deduction. So there's a fixed amount that they take out of paychecks up to a certain maximum.
correct,
And once you've hit that maximum, then they no longer take it out of your paycheck and your
correct,
net take home goes up a little bit, right?
right.
Uh, and for me, I make a decent salary, in IT, and towards the end of the year, I hit that maximum and I get a nice little bump in my paycheck. Elon Musk hit that bump 15 minutes into the new year. It's like 12 minutes in, he's already hit his maximum Social Security deduction, and now he doesn't have to pay any more to Social Security because his income is just so through the roof. 12
That,
minutes into the new year.
that's insane. That's insane to me. And first of all, I understand why there would be, in order to get people on board for the Social Security, there had to be, as it progressed from the 30s into now, there had to be a progression of how it was being handled and how money was being taken. And in order to do that, you have to make compromises to one group, and that way, so we come up with this, what is it, like 150 cap, like at 150, like there's a cap or
I
whatever
don't
the
even know
amount
what the
is.
number is. Yeah.
But every dollar made after that is not taxed to Social Security. And for the life of me, it doesn't make any sense to me
No.
why that cap is, people, there are more people making, there are more people making, reaching that cap sooner now than there were before. Of course, on the flip side, there are also more people on the other side that will never make that cap,
Yeah.
that will work 3 and 4 jobs and still never make that cap. So, the gap. I'm not saying that either one of us are in any way, shape, or form rich, but that gap between the there's a gap forming between what is the upper middle class and the lower middle class, and that lower middle class keeps working its way further and further down the line, or the poor gap, just, or I guess it's, maybe it's not a gap, it's just a line of what it takes to sustain a family and or yourself, and it just keeps, they keep moving apart. And I don't see that's going to get better. Bernie Sanders is going to be dead one
All right.
day,
So
and we
over
won't
under,
have that argument.
we'll do a little prop bet. Who's going to pass on first, Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump?
Donald Trump.
You think he's
And
going to go first?
the only reason I say that is, even yesterday when they showed him, he Fox News had him walking somewhere. He doesn't look healthy. He
Yeah.
doesn't.
Here's the thing. There's something. magical about Donald Trump. I don't know if he,
Cocaine.
I don't
I
know
mean,
if
they
he
call it
sold his
Adderall.
soul, made a deal. I have a feeling he's going to live to be 196
Wow.
because there's everything that was supposed to have taken him down, whether it was COVID when he was like one of the first people to get it, whether it was 34 felony convictions, whether the sexual assault trial that he was found guilty in, everything that would have taken down any other human in the history of humanity didn't take him down. I don't see that age is going to take him down.
Yeah.
There is something weird about him that he's going to live to be 190 and nobody is going to question it. Nobody's going to nobody's going to be like, hey, hey, happy birthday, happy 200th, Methuselah, and they'll be perfectly fine and act like it's normal just for him. I'm telling you, mark my words.
It's definitely odd that
It's
he does.
supernatural. I
Yeah.
can't explain it.
Yeah, I just suspect, I think, because he's got a way. I mean, just based on his body shape and his height, I have to assume he's somewhere in the 260, 250 range. And while that may work for me in my 40s, I don't see an 80-year-old man doing well carrying that much weight. I have to I mean, and he boasts, not boasts, I guess, that, but he acknowledges that his entire diet consists of sodas and McDonald's and Kentucky Fried
See,
Chicken.
and maybe that's the secret because he is so loaded with preservatives. He's in fact embalmed and he's going to last forever as a result. That's my theory anyway. I'm not a biologist, but I'm guessing that's what's going on.
Yeah. Uh if I were to comment on his whaleness, it would be a marine biologist you'd have to be. But yeah, I think Bernie Sanders seems to me like he's a pretty healthy guy. I mean, even a year and a half ago,
Well, here's actually the truth. I actually looked up Bernie Sanders. Did you know he is only 49 years old? I'm kidding you not. He's younger than me. So I feel bad for the guy. I think, some people don't look their age, and Bernie is one of them.
you know what though? I hope that that's true. I
He
hope
came out of the womb looking like that, it's like the old man from Up. That's how he was born.
he's he's a he was Benjamin buttoning us, but he paused and he just stayed
He was
an
Benjamin Pause
80-year-old
Button.
Jewish man. Yeah, it's I was never a Bernie bro. I did campaign for him. I did against Hillary, but then when Hillary became the nominee, I campaigned and canvassed for her. Um and I supported Bernie up until he dropped out of the race in 2019 and 2020. Um I don't know that he would have been a great president, but I still support all the things. Look, I've seen so many of the fuck around and find outs on TikTok and Instagram of people realizing that Donald Trump was never in favor of a universal health care. And they act as though they had no idea that Donald Trump didn't support universal health care. And it's like, what in everything he's said and done has ever given you this impression that he would support universal health care or at least a public option to compete against private insurance? And they said, well, he said he was going to do away with Obamacare. And I was like, Obamacare is the closest thing we've gotten to a public option that would potentially, uh, I guess, create some sort of ability to fight against, or at least have some companies out there that would have to match Obamacare. The mistake that we made in 2009 with Obamacare is that we let the insurance companies run it. So they reap all the benefits of Obamacare, and they get to control how much premiums cost. Like, there's a cap, there's a subsidization that the government gives them to keep it at certain levels, but that's not a public option.
Well, look, Barrett, you
It's
promised
close.
this would only be like a 10-minute little
You're
mini
right.
show, and it's already been 3 hours. So, how about we wrap things up so
That's
I
fine.
can get to work?
I want Bill Kimler is the host of Black, White, and Blue in the South podcast. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can also check him out on all of his social media. Black, White, in the South Black, White, and Blue in the South podcast is also available on the social media platforms. You can search for him. I will put together some show notes or something like that.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to our friend Zach King and his wife Gabrielle, and they're
very
expecting
exciting.
twins any minute now.
It's very exciting.
And I heard your episode where he talked about how nervous he was and so on, but you guys never brought up the perspective of the twins themselves and how nervous they must be knowing they're coming out and going to be raised by Zach. Like that's where the real concern ought to be. They're in that womb. I know they're only a pound and a half each at this point, but they must be shaking in their little wombs there, going, "Oh crap, this is what we're walking into."
They don't have a visual yet. There's no they haven't received they haven't gotten a visual yet. Their eyes may not be open. You can't see through tissue like that yet.
You never know. You never know
Really,
what imagery they can get through the bloodstreams and so. I don't plan to know fetal biology here. But they know that they're coming out to Zach to raise them, and they're like, "Oh crap!" And they're probably going to stay in there another 9-10 months.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right.
But hey, good luck to you, buddy. We're thinking of you.
Good luck, Zach. Thank you. All right, Bill. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is the All About Nothing podcast. Follow us on social media as well as any of the podcast platforms, and we'll be back in a couple of days to do this again and hopefully entertain. So, thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Bill. That was good. Did you enjoy it?